Welcome to our Hebrew class, and today we are beginning again with the book of John in Hebrew, and it's called Yehuchanan chapter 1, or often referred to as Yochanan, and we're dealing with chapter 1 verses 1 to 6. And I'd like to welcome you, and let us begin now by going through what we hopefully know already, but if we don't, we have the Nakud valve markings, and we have a demonstration of how to use the valves, and then we also have useful resources, which are very useful as you're practicing. So let us now begin. We are in chapter 1, and of course it's represented by an Aleph, the first letter of the alphabet. And then we like to go through the letters. Bet, Resh, Aleph, Shin, Yod, Tav, Hey, Yod, Hey, Hey, Dalet, Vayet, Resh, Vav, Hey, Dalet, Vayet, Resh, Hey, Yod, Hey, Aleph, Tav. Now let's read that. Bereshit. And it's translated as in the beginning. And if we look there, we actually see the root word. So here we've got berosh, meaning at or in the head of. So in Hebrew thought, the head means the beginning, the head of things. It can also be translated as the summit of things. So we translate it here, in the beginning. Haya was, ha-davar, the word. Veha-davar, and the word. Haya was, et, grammar marker. So in the beginning was the word, and the word was. Now we know in the English translation it says with, though in this one there is no with. And then I've also given you Rosh, which the meaning is head, top, or chief. And then Haya means was, to be, to exist, to happen, to become. And Ha-davar, of course, is a masculine noun for the word, the utterance, the thing. And so, now we're going to read it without any aids. Bereshit. Haya, ha-davar, ve-ha-davar, haya, et. In the beginning was the word, and the word was, followed by a grammar marker. And then we turn to part B of that particular verse, and we get a Hey, an Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yod, Mem Safit, Vav, Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yod, Mem Safit, Hey, Yod, Hey, Hey, Dalet, Vayet, Resh. This is a Vayet because there's no dot in it. If there was a dot in it, it would be Bayet. So we can get the difference between the B sound and the V sound. Now let us read it. Ha Elohim, the Elohim. The Elohim and Elohim, Haya was, ha-davar. And that's a typical way that Hebrew says something. It says it in more than one way. First it says the word was Elohim, and now it says and the Elohim. So the word was et Elohim, right? Here in the English it says was with, but in the Hebrew in this form it says that the word was the Elohim, and the Elohim was the word. Right, so now we can read this part. Ha Elohim, ve Elohim, haya, ha davar. And again the translation, the Elohim, and the Elohim was the word. So know that the word was the Elohim, and the Elohim was the word. That's how it's translated in this version. And now we come to verse 2, represented with a Vayet, which is the second letter of the alphabet. And then we go through the other letters. Hey, Vav, Aleph, Hey, Yod, Hey, Vayet, Resh, Aleph, Shin, Yod, Tav, Aleph, Tav, Hey, Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yod, Memsofit. And now we can see we've got a Vav mark here next to the Vav, which changes the sound of the Vav to an U. So it is who, and that means he. It can also mean it, but generally it can mean he. Haya was. Bereshit, meaning in the beginning. Et grammar marker. Ha Elohim. He was in the beginning, grammar marker, the Elohim. So he was in the beginning with Elohim. That's the translation, though in the Hebrew it literally says he was the Elohim. Now the Blue Letter Bible uses G4314. The Greek word is pros, which is a preposition and it means to, towards, by the side, or with. And that's how we get that from the Greek, to being by the side. So it seems to be a separate being to Elohim, but still is Elohim. Something to consider. And we're going to read that. Hu haya bereshit et ha Elohim. He was in the beginning, grammar marker, the Elohim. And now we turn to verse 3, which is represented with a gimel, which is, of course, the third letter of the alphabet. And we go through the letters. Hey, Kaf, Lamed, Nun, Hey, Yod, Hey. Ayin, Lamed, Yod, Dalet, Vav. Vav, Mem, Bayet, Lamed, Ayin, Dalet, Yod, Vav. Lamed, Aleph, Nun, Hey, Yod, Hey. And so we practice the letters that way so they become very familiar with us. And as we can see with the vowels, we've got here a patak. That's the short A sound. Then we have a cholom, which is like the O sound. And then we have chirik, which is the I sound. Again, patak. There's a kamat, a longer A sound. And again, cholom at the top. And then we have here the marking, which tells us it's an U sound. And again, chirik, patak, kamatz, cholom, chirik, and kamatz. So they're the different valve marks. So let's read now. Ha-kol, which is like saying the all, or we could just say all or everything, right? Niya, came to be. It's a nifeld, came to be. It's like a reflexive, came to be. Al, by, yado, meaning his hand. Now the pronouns at the end, it's a his at the end. And of course, yad is hand. Now if we look down here, we've got niya, which the verb to become, was to be. Nifeld is passive or reflexive voice. And of course, I've given you kol, which means, as a preposition, mean all, any, every, entire, and then yad is for arm, hand, or forelimb. And then we go to this word, u, mi, bal, adayev. U, mi, bal, adayev. And from him exclusively. So how do we get that? If we look at this one, balad, as an adjective, means exclusively, means alone, basically. Mean from him alone or exclusively. Lo not, niya, came to be. Again, we got the same root word, came to be. So everything was made to be through his hand, and without him, nothing was made to be of. That's the English. Now we're going to read it. Hakol niya al yado u mi bal adaiv. Lo niya. And the translation, all came to be by his hand, and from him exclusively or alone, not came to be. And then we come to part B of 3. And we have a kaf, lamed, aleph, shin, resh, nun, hey, yod, hey. So we read it. Kol. Now this is the Kamatz grammar rule where we can use, rather than the A sound as it's got here, we actually, in the grammar, they say that it should be a short O sound. So it's kol rather than kol. Kol sounds very similar. Ashir, that. So all that, or anything that, all or anything, niya, came to be, was made to be of all that was made. That's the English translation. So let us read that again. Kol ashir niya. Anything that came to be, or all that came to be. So we turn to verse 4, and it's represented with a dalet, the fourth letter of the alphabet. And so let's go through the letters again. Bet, vav, hey, yod, vav, chet, yod, yod, nun, mem, so fit, meaning a mem at the end of a word, vav, hey, chet, yod, mem, so fit, hey, yod, vav, aleph, vav, resh, lamed, vet, nun, yod, hey, aleph, dalet, mem, so fit. Right, now remember that's a cholam, it's an O sound, so it's bo. So rather than the other bo, this means the bet is in and him. In him, ha, you, it was. It could be they were, or it was. And then we have chayim, meaning life. So in him it was life, or, yeah. The ha-chayim, and the life. The hay is the, and chayim is life. It's like in a plural form. Hayu, it was, or, light. Live, nay, to the sons of. Because of this ending with the yod and the zere, it's a construct form, so it means of. So to the sons of. Ha-adam, meaning man. In him was life, and the life was the light for the sons of man. And I've given you bow here, and you notice it's a different bow than this one, but still said bow. It's a verb and it means to come, so this one's different. That's why I gave it to you. And this one's chai. It's an adjective, means alive, living, animated. And this one is or, different than this or. And I gave it to you so you wouldn't be confused. Same sound, or. It's a masculine noun, actually means skin, hide, leather, or pelt. So I'm just giving you so that you don't get confused between this or and that or. And so we read it. Bo, hayu, chayim, ve ha-chayim, hayu, or livnei ha-adam. In him it was life, or you could say there was life, right? And the life, it was light to the sons of man. And now we come to 5, which of course is represented with the hey, which is the 5th letter of the alphabet. And then we go through the letters. Vav, Hey, Aleph, Vav, Resh. Hey, Aleph, Yod, Resh. Bet, Chet, Shin, Kaf, so fit, that's Kaf at the end of a word. Vav, Hey, Chet, Shin, the dot's missing there, but it should be Shin, I believe. Yeah, it is Shin, see, I've put it there. Shin, Kaf, so fit, Kaf at the end of a word, Lamed, Aleph, Hey, Sin this time, Yod, Gimel, Vav. Now let's read it. The Ha-Or, now this is the other Or, the light, and the light, He-Ir, shine. So how do we get that? We see that the root of it is still Or, but a slightly different form. And it means the Hey there is like causative, to cause to light, which is like shines. But it's a verb this time, not a noun. Choshek, in the darkness, because if we look down here, Choshek is a noun for darkness. And I gave you here also, He'ir, which is a verb to shine, to glow, to illuminate, to clarify. And then we have the Ha-Choshek, and the darkness, lo not, Hi-Si-Go. Hi-Si-Go surpasses it. So let's have a look at what Hi-Sig means. It's a verb. It means to succeed, to surpass, to comprehend, to catch up with. So the darkness doesn't catch up or surpass it. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overtaken it. And so we can read it. The Ha-Or, He-Ir, Ba-Choshek, Ve-Ha-Choshek, Lo, Hi-Si-Go. And the translation, and the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness not surpasses it, meaning does not surpass it. And we come to 6, and 6 uses a Vav, of course being the 6th letter of the alphabet. And so we go through the letters. Vav, Yod, Hey, Yod, Aleph, Yod, Shin, Shin, Lamed, Vav, Chet, Mem, Aleph, Tav, Hey, Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yod, Mem, Sofit, Vav, Shin, Mem, Vav. So we read, Vayhi, and it was, translated often as came to pass. Ish, meaning a man, Shaluach, sent out, Me, meaning me'et, meaning from, the mem is from, and the et is grammar marker. Ha Elohim, the Elohim. And Ushmo, and his name. Again, his is the Vav at the end with a cholon, the O sound, his name. And I've given you here shaluach as an adjective, can mean sent out, but it can also mean an emissary, like that's more in the noun form then, describing him. Still an adjective, but it's telling you what type he is of man. So we could even say that means sent one, a man, but in this sentence, it means to be sent out as an adjective. And then we have Shem, which is your root here. It's a masculine noun and it means name, but it can mean more than that. It can mean reputation. It can mean fame. So the word name is not like in English where it's just a label, but it actually means like reputation. And so we come to read that. Vahi ish shaluach me'et ha-Elohim, ushmo. And he was a man sent out from grammar marker the Elohim and his name. And now we come to his name. And we have a Yod, He, Vav, Chet, Nun, Nun Safit. And we read it. Yahu Chanan. Yahu Chanan, which is translated in many Hebrew Bibles as Yochanan, and in English as John. But these are all shortened forms. Because we have a root here, Chanan, which is the verb to pardon, to have mercy, to deal kindly. So therefore, Yahu Chanan therefore may mean the kindness of Yahu, which is a shorter form of Yahweh, often shortened, as I said, to Yochanan. So we read that, Yahu Chanan, or Yochanan. And so we finish there and we begin with our revision just to see what we have remembered. So we have an Aleph, and we remember that's the first letter of the alphabet, so it has a value of 1. And then we read, Bereshit, in the beginning, Haya was, Ha-Davar, the word. The Ha-Davar and the word Haya was et grammar marker. In the beginning was the word, and the word was grammar marker. Ha-Elohim, the Elohim. The Elohim and the Elohim, and Elohim, Haya was, Ha-Davar, the word. So, the Elohim and Elohim was the word. Then we have a Vayet, which has a value of 2 because it's the second letter of the alphabet. Who, he, Haya was, Bereshit in the beginning, et, grammar marker, ha-Elohim, the Elohim. He was in the beginning, grammar marker, the Elohim. Then we have a Gimel, which is the third letter of the alphabet. So in verse 3. Hakol, meaning all or everything. Niya, came to be. Al, meaning by. Yado, his hand. U, mi, bal, dayev. And from him exclusively, we could translate it. I mean, literally, in order, it's and from exclusively him. Lo not, ni ye, came to be. All or everything came to be by his hand, and from his exclusiveness, not came to be. Kol, now remember that's the Kamatz rule, kol rather than kol. Kol, which is everything, or all, a share that, niya, came to be. So anything that came to be. And then we have Adalet, the fourth letter of the alphabet, value 4. Bo, in him, Haya, it was, Chayim, life. The Ha-Chayim and the life. Ha-Yu, it was, or light, live, nay, to the sons of Ha-Adam, man. In him it was life, and the life it was light to the sons of man. And then we have a He, which has a value of 5, the fifth letter of the alphabet, and we read, the Ha'or and the light, He'ir, meaning shines or illuminates, Ba'choshek, in the darkness. The ha-choshek, and the darkness, lo not he see go, surpasses it. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness not surpasses it. Then we have a vav, value of 6, the 6th letter of the alphabet. Vayhi, and it was. Ish, and it came to pass, and it was. Ish, a man. Shaluach, sent out. Me'et, from. Ha-Elohim. Ushmo, and his name. And it was, or it came to pass, a man sent out from grammar marker the Elohim, and his name, Yahuchanan. Yahuchanan or Yochanan. And so we now come to the vowels. Since this is lesson 1 of John, we go through all the vowels. We have a kamatz, and we remember that when it's in a closed first syllable generally, then it gives us more a short O sound rather than an A sound. But generally it's a long A sound. And then we have patak, which is a short A sound. Then we have zere, which is a longer E sound. Then we have segol, a shorter E sound. Shiva, which separates the syllables, and it could be with no sound after the shin, or it could have a short E sound. And then we have a cholam, which again is the O sound. Then we have a shuruk, that's what this is called, where it gives it the U sound. And then we have kubutz, also the U sound, but it seems a little bit longer sound. And then we have a combination, kataf segol, which is the segol after the syllable marking. Then we have chirik, the I sound. Then we have a kataf patak, short A sound after the syllable break. And then we have kataf kamatz, the longer A sound, which is after this shava syllable break. And then finally, we actually have the resources again for anyone who wants to look at them because they're so useful. And we will now go through the values of the letters. The Aleph is 1, Vayed is 2, Gimel is 3, Dalet is 4, Hey is 5, Vav is 6, Zion is 7, Chet is 8, Tet is 9, Yod is 10, and then we go to Kaf 20, Lamed 30, Mem 40, Nun 50, Samek 60, Ayin 70. We normally say Pei here rather than Pev. It's 80, and Zadeh is 90, Kuf is 100, Resh is 200, Shin is 300, Tav is 400. So we've got to get used to them so we can understand when it's got that in front of a verse, we know what verse it is. And we'd like to thank you for joining us, and we do pray these blessings will bless you and that you'll continue on this journey through the book of Yehuchanan. So may you be blessed and may you have a Shavua Tov in Yeshua HaMashiach, our Messiah and our King. Amen.